I'm Leah Silver. I'm doing this as part of the Light of Infinity Festival. So any of you Facebook people who might be seeing this and you don't know what it's about, it's part of a really special festival of different artists that are sharing what they do, or healers or musicians or anything. So I have the zchut to share with you guys tonight. Okay, let's begin. So I'm Leah. We're sitting right now in my shop here in Karem in Jerusalem. Our little shop, it's called Malchuta, and this is where I showcase my art and sell it. I'm going to go a little bit back. I'm a multimedia artist. I've worked with video and singing and dancing, and also visual art and ceramic and paintings and tiles now, and ceramic jewelry. So I was thinking, like, what am I going to share with you guys tonight? It's actually the first time I've ever done a live or ever spoke in this kind of way, so I'm kind of excited, a little nervous. So I was thinking, like, where did this all begin? Where did I begin my journey as an artist? So I was thinking of a little story. When I was 20 years old, I was traveling in New York. I was visiting family. And one day I went with my cousin. She's like, Leah, we're going to see a seer. I was like, okay. I was 20, not so familiar with seeing seers or people who tell you about your future or things like that. A little bit like, didn't know where to put myself, if I believe in this. I'm a just good Jewish girl. Do I do these things? But I decided, okay, experience, I'm just gonna go. So they all came with like a question, what they're gonna ask. And I was like, I don't have any questions. I'm just gonna go in and see what she has to tell me. So I walk in and I sit in front of her. And she tells me, what's your question? And I thought, I don't have any questions. So she looks at me and she says, usually when someone comes and sits across me, I see like some kind of like guardian angel, we'll call it, like some kind of uncle that passed away or a grandfather that passed away, like someone who is like a guardian soul for every person. And she's like, I look at you and there's like a whole tribe behind you. And I don't remember the rest of the conversation with her. I just know that was like a really strong moment. And it was clear to me that, like, first of all, as a Jew, I'm part of Am Yisrael. And second of all, I felt really strongly that I grew up in a tribe. So I grew up on the Moshav, Mevo Modim, Me'or Modim, in Israel. It's a little town, little village, like halfway between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. It was, our parents, a lot of them came from the House of Love and Prayer in California. They made Aliyah to Israel, and they were all Hasidim and Talmidim, like, of Reb Shlomo Karlibach. And my Ima, my mom, and my Abba were living on the Moshav, and definitely when I look at my art, I know that my inspiration, or where I got like the foundation of the kind of art I want to do in the world, it's definitely from the place I grew up in. So definitely, if I'm gonna talk about like Judaica, or I guess I'll bring some things closer to show. Definitely, like my mezuzah cases, they're definitely going to be colorful, a little tribal looking, and definitely connected to nature. So, 1 minute. I think like the first thing that I feel like I learned from growing up on the Moshav was that the Jewish experience was a very, very colorful experience. Like every holiday was like super exciting, or even Tisha B'Av, like coming up soon, was like so special. Like everything had music in it. Like we sang, there was a song for everything. like everybody was dressed colorful. The synagogue, which I feel like was the heart of the community, was the most colorful, beautiful, painted by one of the Moshav artists, Yitzchak ben Yehuda. And so the whole Jewish experience was super, super, super colorful. And I feel like that's definitely the foundation of like my art, as being very colorful, very, very, very uplifting. So I want to give a little shout out, I guess, to my teacher, my ceramic teacher. All the kids on the Moshav, everybody went to ceramics. I think I started doing ceramics when I was like 5 years old, and I think I never stopped since. So we did ceramics, hand building ceramics. We learned it from our teacher Bracha Schwartz, Alea Shalom. So this could be in memory of her. So she was the most colorful person I ever met. And I remember like she would say, we decorate the world. Like she was all about decorating. And one of the most special experiences for me as doing ceramics with her as a kid, and after that as like in my youth, I used to help her, like with the younger kids, I used to help and then get my classes for free. I remember like even if I had a big test in school the day after, I wouldn't miss ceramics. It was like the place that I felt like this safe zone, or like this quiet place within me to do art and to, I don't know, it was like a little bit of a little Bet Mikdash, like the studio. And another really strong thing was that when we were sitting around that table of everybody doing the art, there was just so much life stories that came into the art. I felt like everything that we made was full of like life stories. Like she would share with us all her hippie journeys of finding Hashem and her spiritual journeys, and in a very, 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 very honest way. Like also one of the things I really felt like growing up was that this is like, it was like, just be real, like be really, really real. So I feel like this is one of the things that I want to put into my art, and that I feel like I really try to put into my art. The colorful, the decorating, like very lively. I feel like there's a story a little bit in each one of the pieces. And I could say that when I was like selling my art like in different booths and different festivals, and in the beginning, like I wasn't sure like this is what I'm going to be doing in my life, or I didn't feel like I'm not like saving the world, I'm not like, you know, saving lives, like, and I'm just making beautiful things. Is that just enough? Like, and I remember people would come and look at my art and they would say, wow, ze meragesh, like, wow, it's like heart touching. And I used to feel like, wow, like they didn't say it was beautiful, they said it touched their heart. And when that started happening, and I opened the shop, and that was the same things people kept saying. Like they would come in and they would be like, wow, it's so exciting to be here. Like I felt like, okay, then I know that there's something about what I'm doing that's touching people's heart, and I guess that's what art is for. It's to touch someone's heart. So before I carry on, I guess I'll just play a little song. That's I'm gonna play a Shlomo song that I feel like it definitely connects me to like where I began and like my roots. So, and I feel like also Neely, she said that she wanted me to sing, so I'm just gonna do that. So I feel like obviously I'm gonna start with the Shlomo song, because I feel like that's where I learned that a song can change someone's life. A song can, I don't know, bring someone closer to Hashem, to themselves, and I feel like that teaches me that also art can do that, like even like, you know, ceramics or paintings. I'll show you guys soon. So obviously wherever you are, you can sing along. Return That song is really special because it also connects me to like the land that I came from, the community, and also the words in Hebrew are Hashev Levi'im Leshiram Lezimran. So I really hope like I have a big dream to be one of the artists in Beit HaMikdash, Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay, so actually, I said before that I'm a multimedia artist. Before we opened the shop, I was actually doing a lot of art with a lot of video art. I went to when I was okay. Let's start a little earlier. So I was 22, and I started going to. I was studying in Hadassah. College in Jerusalem. I didn't have the guts to actually go study art. I didn't believe that I could actually, be an artist and make a living. So I went and I studied interactive, how do you call it? תקשורת חזותית, visual interactive media or something like that. And we were like basically learning like all the graphic artist kind of computer programs and video editing and I don't know, a lot of computer. And in the middle of the year, I was just like fed up with sitting on the computer all day. I didn't feel like it was my thing. And March that year, my Abba passed away. And I remember even talking to him a little bit before and saying like, I don't really feel like I'm at the right place in school. And he just said like, okay, then leave. He's like, I never actually finished school. He said maybe he finished like 1 year. I don't even know if he finished like a whole degree, but he was like a traveler of the world and a photographer, a writer, and it didn't scare him too much that I wanted to leave school. He just said like maybe try to leave to like find something else to leave to. So I don't think I even finished that year. I couldn't, like, it was just too much going. I went through a lot that year after my Abba passed away. And the summer of that year, I found out about this school for visual theater, and I went to check it out, and it seemed like really cool because you kind of study everything, like music and puppetry and dance and acting and painting, and like it was like as if I'm like in this like camp of studying all the different arts. So the first year you like study everything, and then like as the years go by, it's a 4-year program, you find like what's your thing. So it was definitely, I think, one of the hardest experiences of my life to go study art. Definitely art school in Israel was like very Chiloni, very not religious, very left-wing, very it was just hard to like find people that like spoke my spiritual language, I don't know, it took me a while to feel part of that place, or I don't even know if I ever felt really part. But after like only in the 3rd year, I decided that I don't need to like, you know, try to fit in. I just need to be myself. And I feel like even though it was like one of the hardest experiences in my life to be in that school, it taught me like one of the biggest lessons in my life of being me. So 3rd year, finally I started doing video work, and the first video art work that I actually felt really like proud of was a little bit of like a memorial kind of video about my dad, the baker. My dad used to make bread, and I made like a video for him. After that, I did like another video art of I used to call it Histel Panim, like covering. I covered like the face with a bunch of colors. I was also doing face painting then, so it felt really natural to me to deal with color. And I realized I don't have to make up everything. I can like, you know, use different things in my life. And finally it came out with like a really special video art that actually like, I felt like, okay, I'm doing something that I feel really proud of. And then the last year of school, my finale, I decided that I'm gonna take a camera and film the place I grew up in, the Moshav, and just the different people. And mostly I wanted to like, I guess, share with these people that I was doing art with, like I felt like I need to explain myself, like where I came from, so they could understand a little bit, like understand me, and I feel like I was trying to understand me. So I'm just gonna say that if anybody wants to look in YouTube on my Leah Silver, you guys can check out different movies that I've made. The movie I did for the last year of school, it's called Wings of the Heart, in Hebrew, Haknafayim Shel Halev. It's a really special movie. And after that, I did more movies, a lot of documentaries, some more video art. Not everything's on YouTube, but there's a bunch on YouTube. So you guys can totally check it out. Now, all what I'm talking about on the Moshav, it's like BF, we call it Before Fire. Everybody knows, or maybe not everyone knows, 4 years ago, the Moshav that I grew up in, it burned down. Almost all the houses, like, burnt. And we are, definitely, our families are going through and rebuilding the place. So it turned out that like these movies that I made were like, I captured like a piece of history that will never be the same again. So I feel like very, very, very privileged, and I guess like, I think it was mamash from God that like I chose to do these projects of filming the Moshav and sharing a lot of like the depth and the specialness of the place I grew up in. Part of like, after the Moshav burning down, it was like a little bit, I felt like I have to find my own path now. Like, I can't just, you know, be the Moshav girl. Like, let's say I'm a little bit like living now in Jerusalem, and I need to find like my own path. And obviously, like, I remember where I came from, and it's definitely the base of who I am. But also in my experience, I was always very Israeli, and a lot of my friends were very Israeli, and the music and everything. And there's like another whole part of me that's and in the art, and that is like, I guess, still trying to figure out who I am like today. So first I was thinking just to show you guys a little bit of my paintings here. Okay, so I'll just show you guys a little more of the art here. I'm just going to say that we opened this shop 3 years ago, Corona. It was right after the first wave in Israel and this like shutdown that there was in Israel, and everything shut down, all the restaurants here, and this little shop, which is in the center, in the heart of Enkarem, it also closed, and it was like a legendary chocolate shop. And it closed down, and nobody could believe. And then me and my partner, Stav, in the shop, we said, okay, let's check it out. We weren't sure we could actually, do it, like, money-wise, but then, I don't know, somehow the doors opened, we checked out, so it made sense to open a shop here. We decided if it doesn't work out, we'll just sell sushi or food or whatever. We're very happy we opened. We called it Malchuta, which is like Malchut in Aramaic, kingdom. We felt like it's the feminine aspect of like Mother Earth, like the lowest sphera in the Kabbalah. It's like it's us being the artist and us being in our Malchut. It means like us being in our center and sharing our art. And also my first name is Malka, so definitely something that I feel very connected to the name and to what we built here. So this is one of my paintings. Ana Zamin Lemeheve. It's I try to choose like sayings that are not so, like, not everyone already did them, and that are definitely like part of my inner journey of like my experience. So this Ana Zamin Lemeheve is, I'm like ready to shine, I'm ready to be like in the moment. I'm ready to forget all the things that would put me down in the past. Like, I'm ready to just go for it. So this in Aramaic, it's very lively and sweet. Okay, another painting that I did not long ago. It's not one of my more famous ones, but Ashraich Erez shemelkech ben chorin. It means blessed is the land whose king is free. I feel like today in Israel we're in such a crazy time. Everything's like afuch. Everything's like upside down, and it's a really big like, I really pray that our kings, that our leaders will be like really in the depth free people, and then we could actually, like, all the nation will go that way. This is a painting I did like a few years ago. It's the Ethiopian Jews looking at the storks when they would leave Ethiopia back to Europe. They would look at the storks, Chasidot, and they would say, Shimala, Shimala, Ageratzim Yerushalem Dena. Like, when you go over Israel to Europe, when you go over Jerusalem, send her our love. So it's a very special painting for me. Like, someone asked me to make a Birkat Bait, and I just couldn't do the normal text that you see everywhere. So I decided to write my own blessing. So I'll translate. Let there be a will before you. Let our home be a beautiful place where the mind expands, a protected place where I can take off all my shields and be totally myself. a place where peace reigns and the divine presence find its place. Let this house invite guests and let us know the balance between the outside and the inside. May we always be healthy, happy, and loving, and may we feel truly blessed. So I felt like this was something that I would want to put in my house. So it feels good to sell this. We have the Kat Kohanim. And this is one of my favorite paintings. It says, what your heart desires your heart. And I feel like it's one of my truly big things that I pray for, that like I really, really want to believe that when I'm sending out my art or my love or my song or my colors or my dreams, that it's meeting who it needs to meet, and that it will come back to me, like, so that I can meet who I need to meet through it. So I'm excited about that one. And the last one that I'll share with you guys is Anan b'chavivuta talia. We are dependent on love. I feel like in this days, like how much we need that. We need to remember that we're one nation, that we were one people. We need to remember like that we really just need to like get it together, and that we really need everyone. We can't do it alone. Let's see. Okay, another thing that I want to say. I made a list of things that I'll talk about, but what do I know what I'm going to say or what you guys need to actually hear, right? I really try, even in my my ceramic art here, I really try to like to put some like little messages into them. So like sometimes when I'm designing something and I feel like I don't have an idea of what I want to design, so I'll just start with the letters, and I'll make like I'll hide alphabet letters in the design, because the world was created with letters, so I guess I should also create my thing with letters. Let's see what I share here. What else in here? Let's see. Yeah, there's different designs that I do. So I like working with letters. So this is like the easy way of working with letters. But this one has letters in it. It's hard to see it like this, but it has the Aleph, the Bet, and the Gimel. This is made out of Aleph, Bet, and Gimel. It's a little bit like hiding in it, but that's, I guess, how the letters are hidden in the world. I like using, I made these tiles with the bells. Sometimes they say the world was created with letters, but the stars are created, and the beyond this world is created with the vowels. Yeah, I'm also designing tiles. So if you know anyone that's building their house or wants to renovate their kitchen, definitely this is the place to come. I was thinking to share a little Hasidic story that I really like. That I made a clock that talks about this story, but I sold it like in the last few days, so I don't have another one. I thought it would still be here for this session. So it's a really, really special story. It was my birthday 2 days ago, and this story I really take it in, and I hope to live by it. So one time, the Ora Meir. He was the student of the Chozeh Lublin, the seer of Lublin. He was on his way back to Lublin, and it was like a very rainy night, and he had to stop in a little krechmet because he couldn't travel anymore. So he stops into this krechmet, and the guy sees that he's a very special man, and he gives him there's 2 rooms in the krechmet. He gives him the best room, and he gives him everything he needs, and he says good night. And the Ora Meir, he's walking in this little krechmet, this little wood shack, and he can't fall asleep, and he's walking left and right and left and right. And these little shacks, if you're walking left and right, then the whole shack is a little bit moving left and right. So the poor innkeeper, he also can't sleep. So he decides to knock on the door and to see if everything's okay. So he knocks on the door, and he says, my precious brother, is everything okay with your room? And he says, yes, it is. I just want to ask you one question. The clock that's on the wall, could it by any chance be the clock of the Chozeh of Lublin, the seer of Lublin? So he tells him, yes, but don't think I stole it or anything. His son was here a few weeks ago, and until he pays off his debt, he gave me the clock to keep until he pays off his debt. But he says, I don't understand. What's the connection between your sleep and the clock? And he tells him most clocks in the world, most people in the time, it says 1 hour passed, 1 hour passed, 1 hour passed. With that kind of clock, you feel like I didn't do this, I didn't experience this yet. You just want to finish with your day and fall asleep. But the clock of the Chozeh, he says, every minute that goes by, he says, you're 1 minute closer, you're 1 minute closer, you're 1 minute closer. And with that kind of clock, I can't fall asleep. So one of my clocks that I sell here is a clock that says in it, you're 1 minute closer. So that's when I'm able to do a little bit of Torah Shebe'al Peh, oral Torah into my ceramic work. And I'm really excited when that happens. And it's a blessing to myself and to you guys that we live every day fully, and that we really feel like we're one day closer to what we want to be or experience in our life. I was thinking to share another song that's an Israeli song, an artist called Yasmin Mu'alem. For me, somehow this song is like a really deep prayer. So hope you guys enjoy it. אם הייתי יכולה לצאת מהראש שלי, ללכת ולמכור בשוק את כל המחשבות שלי, אם כל הרחובות היו ריקים עכשיו, הייתי ריקה גם אני, והזמזום הזה שלא מפסיק, זאת המלחמה שלי. ואני יודעת שהוא לא ישאיר אותי לבד. מה כבר ביקשתי? תהיה לי מים חמים, כי בסוף היום אנחנו יחפים ופשוטים. אם תמשוך אותי אליך, Thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope you guys have a great night and enjoy the rest of the festival. Thank you.